Here we go. Hi, I'm Steve Thompson, president of Emery Thompson Machine, and this is one of our ongoing videos of Make It Fresh. Christi Brown, our sales manager, and today we're going to make lemon cake ice cream with lemons, strawberries, and poppy seeds, and real lemon cake. It was all we could do not to eat the cake last night, but we held off so we could put it into the ice cream today. I'm going to pass out, we have a nice crowd here today, and I'm going to pass out the formula to them. Those of you watching this at emerythompson.com or on YouTube, our 441 how to make videos, you'll see the formulas there. So let me pass this around to the audience, and we'll get going. Again, we're going to use all fresh ingredients. We're going to use 4 quarts of dairy mix. Dairy blend, which is milk, cream, sugar, skim milk. We're going to use lemon cake, poppy seeds, vanilla extract, a couple of fresh squeezed lemons, and we're going to throw in some frozen strawberries just because we think that goes along nicely with it. And we're going to run this on the 12-quart Emery Thompson machine. So we're going to make 1 full tub equal to 1 of these in about 8 minutes. The next size up makes 2 of these in 8 minutes, and the one next to it, the CB, the countertop, makes half a tub in 8 minutes. So which one you buy depends on your volume and what can you afford. The smaller machine is going to cost less than a bigger one.
Really?
And our prices are at our website, so you can look at the current price and see exactly what you'll pay for it. So we've got the mix, lemon cake, you've got vanilla extract. I'll measure out the vanilla extract.
I did.
Oh, you
Sorry.
did already. Okay, excellent.
But you can still talk about it. I can get you the bottle.
That's all right. I'll start pouring this
Okay.
in.
Now remember, Steve, I didn't spill a drop.
I didn't either.
Jeff,
For the
I'm
record.
blind in one eye.
Oh, the excuses start before pulling it? Look at that. As a man who's had some experience. Pressure was on and he came right through.
It comes from years of drinking beer. I found that if you keep the bottle too close to your mouth, it's going to spill all over your shirt.
Right. Same with pouring, by the way. When you're pouring stuff in your machine higher,
Yeah.
it'll create a thinner stream.
Yeah, if you put it down here, it's going to
gonna
spill.
spill.
But if you get up here, not a problem.
Yeah, thinner stream.
You want to do your lemons?
Yes. I'm going to throw in the extract.
Okay.
This is 4 ounces of vanilla extract. Let's pour that in. Christi said to mention what it is. She's right. This is Lockhead Vanilla. It's a company that specializes in vanilla and specializes also in vanilla for ice cream. It's spelled Lockhead, Lockhead. And this is a all-natural vanilla. It's flavor. It's called Flavor 103A. I don't expect you to remember that it's Flavor 103A or that it's Lockhead, but if you want to call me, Steve Thompson, you can email me, Steve at emerythompson.com, Christi at emerythompson.com, or our phone number, which is at the start and end of this videotape, and we'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Okay, now the lemons. This is Paula's lemon squeezer, and I was told to be very careful with it. It's hard for me to work.
The other way, the other way.
What do you say? No, that's right. I don't think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I promise.
These newfangled things.
Oh, ho. Why don't you do it in this bucket and then pour it in?
Oh, because that was going to be easier. All right. Where do you plug this in?
I'm sorry, we do things manually here.
Oh, gee. Okay. Frisbees.
If you did it the other way, you'd be wearing lemon juice now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. This is why I don't cook. Oh, you better put it down. It gives me a better target.
And also, when you're
Isn't
done
this
with,
fun watching the chairman of the board squeeze lemons?
when you're done with
really,
that
this
squeeze,
is
you can
my,
simply rotate it and get some more out of it,
this is my calling.
or not.
Just let him squeeze the
You're
lemons.
right.
Squeeze and go. So this recipe came from my mother. Actually makes a fantastic lemon poppy seed cake. So she takes a sheet cake and she makes a lemon poppy seed cake. She cuts that in half and she layers it with Cool Whip and some very thinly sliced strawberries, and then she'll put the sheet cake back on top. And it is so amazing. So why not make it ice cream? So you don't have to, sit and ponder all the time. How am I going to come up with ice cream flavors? Think of a cake your mom makes or a dessert that you truly love. Possibilities are really endless.
Boy, not my mother.
She made Hockey Pucks.
My mother could not cook. She used to make hamburgers. We called them bullet burgers. If you threw it
oughta-
against the wall, put a hole in it like that.
You ought to turn that on so that the lemon juice doesn't coagulate the milk.
I'll go one better. You said slow speed. So I'm just going to hit the infinite overrun and take it way down. How about that? 100 RPMs. So I'll just let it mix like that. Good point, because it does
You want me to
coagulate.
start shoving cake?
Sure. And let's see, lemon, vanilla, poppy seeds, and lemon cake. And the strawberries. I'll measure out the strawberries. Pretty simple stuff.
So Steve, overrun is the amount of air that's added to the ice cream?
Yes.
And you call this an infinite overrun. What does that mean exactly?
That means that I have the only machine in the world that you can adjust the air content through the entire range of frozen desserts that exist today or ever will. Nobody's ever done it before. I did it 22 years ago. I invented this, and nobody's ever copied it. When you have your dining room and you've got the lights up on full and you want to have a nice quiet dinner with your wife, you use a rheostat or a light dimmer and you dim down the lights to, instead of 100 watts, down to maybe 25 watts. And it's a nice, cozy atmosphere. When you dim down those lights, you're robbing the light bulb of the power. It's no longer a 100-watt bulb, it's a 25-watt bulb or a 15-watt bulb. If you did that with a motor, we're starting with a liquid that is going to end up as a semi-solid. If I take this machine a 3-horsepower motor and use a rheostat or light dimmer, it's now a half horse, and it's only going to get partway through the system, the batch, before it just shuts down. Not enough horsepower. My application, I am able to dim it down without losing the pulling power, or what they call torque. So I've got the same pulling power at 100 RPMs, and we don't run at 100 RPMs, as I do at 234 RPMs. And that's the invention.
You know me.
And nobody's copied it. So it allows us, other people sell a gelato machine, others sell an Italian ice machine, others sell a hard ice cream machine. They only do one thing. They advertise that they're 2-speed. Well, 1 speed is what the machine freezes at, and the 2nd speed is nothing but washout. If you want washout on this machine, just turn off the refrigeration switch. But as far as being able to make any product on earth or anything that comes along, we didn't know anything 4 years about dairy-free ice cream. And so through my experimenting, I figured out that it works best at super premium. And the RPM range doesn't matter, but throwing out a number, it's 160. So I have a setting on the machine that says dairy-free, and it just takes it to 160. So you're always going to have a perfect product every time. And
Oversimplification to say that the lower the RPM, the less air?
yes, absolutely. But lowering the air doesn't necessarily make it a better product. It just makes it heavier. Ice cream, I have this battle with customers and myself all the time. A good balanced ice cream consists of air, which is overrun, fat content, and flavor. I did an ice cream once back in the Bronx for Al Pachenik. He was chairman of the board of Godiva Chocolate. And he heard that the highest in New York was 16% fat. He came in with a 22% butterfat ice cream chocolate.
For the strawberries.
And we made it, and it made everybody, including the stray cat, sick. Killed the stray cat. But it was just too much. It was more fat than you could take. So more is not always better. Let me just measure this out for Christy.
That was a lot of fun putting those cakes in there.
Oh, I'll bet. Don't try that with another machine. You can't do it.
No.
Oh, don't be shy. Put in more.
It's not the primary flavor.
It's
Okay.
a strawberry lemon pie.
Yeah, we don't want to overwhelm it.
Okay.
So that goes in. So you've got the fat content, which is according to what sells in your area. If I, yes. If I was up in New York and Jeff had a store selling 14% butterfat ice cream, I would sell 16. Not because it's any better, but I want the bragging rights of I'm the richest damn ice cream in Manhattan. That's not a good reason. Then there's the air content. I can give you homemade ice cream, which is what Jeff and I make, or I can take it down to super premium, or I can take it down to gelato. I can take it all the way down to frozen custard. Frozen custard is going to be very dense. It's delicious, but if you eat a large portion of it, you'll be so full, it'll be like going to your favorite Italian restaurant where you go once a month and you overeat. You eat all the pasta, all the garlic bread, all the desserts, and then you walk out of there and say, oh, that Luigi's makes me feel awful. Ergo, I'm not going back to Luigi's for another month. Well, we don't want you to go away for a month. We want you to walk out and say, man, that ice cream at Jeff's was so good, I think I'll go back and get a second one. So it's a balance of fat, air, and then the most important of all, because the other two don't mean anything, nobody walks into a store or walks out of a store and says, you know what, Christy, that was the best air content I ever ate. Or I turn to my wife, Paula, and say, I can't wait to come back tomorrow. I just love their fat content. People say, that mint chip was really minty in flavor, and the chocolate chips weren't cheap chopped chocolate chips are not good for ice cream. So the flavor is the most important thing. So that's why I ask you, how did we do on this flavor? And we might come back and say, yeah, Jeff was right, it needed more strawberries. But we think the predominant flavor is lemon, so maybe it needed more lemons. We'll find out. But people eat flavor. That's the most important thing. Everything else is peripheral. You balance it to what your personal taste is and what the market likes. I like to have my pints of ice cream to be very dense so they last longer. So I might take my normal recipe and lower this down in the air content just for pints. The customer isn't going to know why it's so dense. They're just going to say, oh, it's just as delicious as I remember in the store, even though they're two different air contents. We're all in and running?
Yep.
Okay.
I put poppy seeds in. I don't know if I put a lot, but
Okay. We tend to leave things out sometimes. So we got the dairy blend, the large lemon cake, or
Yep.
lemon cakes, poppy seeds, vanilla extract, fresh squeezed lemons, and frozen strawberries.
correct.
That's it. Explaining the term, if you haven't heard it before, overrun. That's very confusing. We use that term when we're talking about air. Think of proof. We'll forget overrun for a minute, we'll call it proof. If this was an 80 proof rum, it would be, technically, proof would mean it's 40% alcohol and 40% other stuff. So that's 80 proof. We can take that term proof and put it into ice cream. If I'm making a 80 proof ice cream, it's 40% dairy and 40% air to equal 80 proof. We just get rid of the term proof and put in overrun. So 80% overrun is 40% dairy and 40% air. And it's really that simple. So we have a machine that will do any air content that you want. And I think you'll probably find that most of your products you'll end up doing super premium or homemade. The other thing about that, let me go over here. When you're pricing your product, I like to price what the market will bear. Jeff calls it what's fair and equitable, and I think they're the same term. But if you're using a round tub, and the round tubs are great, they've been used for years, lots of people use them, but if you've got this tub, you're scooping from here, and that's difficult, And the customer, if it's a glass display cabinet, which I don't use, the customer is seeing this, and you're having to shave down the sides and do a lot to maintain it. When you scoop ice cream, all the strength is in your bicep. Never get in a fight with someone who scoops ice cream for a living, because they got a right hook that'll kill you. But we're scooping like this. We're using the bicep. But as we do that, we're compressing the ice cream. So if you did 100 proof ice cream, by the time you scoop it, it's down to 75 or 80. We've knocked that much air out of it. I kind of like these in a lot of applications. That's called a gelato pan, and usually it comes with a, it's meant for this. It's meant to be in a stainless steel pan like that. That might be 80 bucks. I don't want to buy $180 pans, but that's a liner, and that just drops in, made by gelatosupply.com. I don't even use this. I like these. I can use them 3, 4, 5 times. And the scooping action is like this. Using the bicep, it's from north to south. So it's very easy to scoop. It's not going to fill up on the sides. It's really handy. And the best thing about it is if you get into wholesale and you talk to an executive chef, he's used to Haagen-Dazs, my customer. The Haagen-Dazs salesman is all the same. He's 6'4". He graduated top on the football team, and he has a huge ego. And Haagen-Dazs just made it bigger by just saying, "Oh, well, we're Haagen-Dazs. Why wouldn't you want to buy us, chef?" The problem is, let's say this room here where we're in is our restaurant. There's an old expression that didn't mean anything to me for years. The money's made at the tables, not in the kitchen. In other words, we're in the kitchen. The owner has tables out there, and now the landlord comes and raises the rate on the whole restaurant. What do? Our solution is get more people in. So we say to the chef, "I'm sorry, we're shrinking your kitchen from here to here." And we can add now 10 more tables. And that's what restaurants are doing. Mm-hmm. So the chef, Haagen-Dazs, comes in and says, "We deliver 10 tubs every 2 weeks, and that's our minimum order." Well, 10 of these in his freezer in this now shrunk kitchen, where's he going to put the chickens and the vegetables and the steaks? He's losing his space. You come along, there's 1 tub. That's how much space it takes up. I can put in just a little over that tub, 1, 2, and then 2 more, 3, 4 of these rectangular pans in just not much more space than 1 of these. So now I can give the chef a whole lot of variety without taking up a lot of room in his freezer. And it's an odd way of looking at business, but if you can solve the chef's problem before you even walk in, he knows what his problem is. He can't take 10 tubs, but he could take about 6 of these gelato pans and be happy as could be. So it's a good thing to keep in mind is, and Jeff uses the Cambro, which is excellent. Are these the ones that you use, Jeff?
Yeah.
Look how much smaller that is than a 2.5 gallon tub. Something like this is ideal for the CB350 or even Jeff's size machine. How much time do we have in there?
That timer started when.
Oh, okay. So these are a great idea that Jeff uses because it's a smaller quantity. The customer looks at it as it's fresher. They're not always having to shave down the sides of a big, huge tub, and it's just great. Now, Jeff serves from chest freezers. I use a dipping cabinet, but you have the visual display cabinet. That's the one that's glass and you can see in. And everything about Americans is fast. We've got to have it fast. When they came out with nitrogen ice cream, I knew it was a failure.
Oh, we can pull it now.
It was a partial success because it was fun for 6 minutes to watch them make your ice cream. And you'd bring a relative in Chicago and say, "Come on, I'm going to show you how it's made." Ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Refrigeration's off. Oh, that looks beautiful.
Can I have another pan?
You need another? Yeah.
Please.
Big or small?
Probably a bigger one.
Quick.
We got time.
Chop, chop. I'm just kidding.
Forget big or small, just quick.
with the visual display cabinet, you're going to slow down the crowd, and nobody wants that. When they did Thai pan ice cream, where you mix it like Benihana, 6 minutes.
I got it.
10 people in line. 10 people is not a lot of people in line. 60 minutes. That's how long it takes for you, the 10th person. No American's going to wait 60 minutes. You have the same thing with the, I call it the freeze-dried ice cream or the nitrogen ice cream. It takes 6 minutes and 23 seconds. This is what I do at night. I have no life. I time videos. 6 minutes and 23 seconds for one serving. It was a lot of fun to watch. But 3 years from now, 5 years from now, even 4 months from now, nobody cares. They just want my ice cream. And 10 people, 60 minutes? No, I'm going somewhere else.
That's when they started closing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, almost everybody closed. Well, they don't have business.
My customers were through the roof during the COVID, up 40, 50, 60% at the height of the COVID. Because I wrote articles and said, you've got to stop touching the ice cream. Like pizzas, they started doing ads where all you see is the box and being handed with no hands. You got to stop touching the product, put it in pints. And we're selling pints $7, $8, $9. And you'll always buy two, one for you and one for your spouse, or one for you and one for your friend. But you'll always buy two. You don't care what the cost is. I want that ice cream. I want my mint chip. And I better bring home a coconut for Paula or I'm dead meat. So you're going to spend $8 a pint, $16, not even think about it. And that's what saved them. I mean, the sales numbers were huge. Last year was I think I mentioned it earlier, last year was our biggest year in 116 years, and this year is double that. And a lot of it is attributed to selling pints. Just running in, grabbing, and not hand packing, pre-package at the machine, slow down the speed, fill it up, put a cap on it, put it in the freezer. So how does this taste?
Good. It's like a lemon strawberry poppy seed cake.
I'm going to give it a quick taste. Don't go away.
No? Okay.
Oh, that's good. Definitely lemon.